will solve many of the world's problems. When I was growing up, if we were on a car trip and somebody was complaining, it was always a Coke and a pack of cheese crackers. You could lose a body part, and that's what they would have given you to cure you. So my talk this week is live your vision, live your vision. And Henry David Thoreau said, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined. Go confidently. Live the life you've imagined, because you did not imagine it alone. If you have a dream, it's because God's Spirit birthed you with the idea of glory and greatness, of health, of love, of joy. We are here to breathe life into God's dreams. We're to walk confidently towards them, not namby-pamby or mopey-dopey, but walking as if we know where we're going, walking as if we mean business. We're on a mission from God. We are on a mission to live our best life possible. Now, don't go out and tell your relatives that you're on a mission from God, because they'll lock you up. But that's what you are here to do. And you start with the intention of, I'm going to live the best life possible. I'm going to live the life filled with love and joy and friendship and laughter and every great thing. Now, it's not going to come to you like the 4th of July. It's going to start like the spring, showing up little green buds peeking up through the winter soul. But you know, spring eventually leads into the 4th of July. We have a dream that wants to come to life, and without us, it's not going to happen. So first, you want to have the dream, acknowledge the dream, and you want to dream large. Dream so large that you cannot figure out all the steps you need to get to completion. Because if you've got everything figured out, you've left spirit out of the equation. You want to leave places where you don't know how it's going to work out, and leave that up to spirit. Leave that up to the magic of your life. You know, I was reading about the cathedral that is in Florence, and when it was started in 1296, they had designed it or envisioned it to have this huge dome. And when they started building it, they did not have the technology for such a dome. But they started building it anyway. They would have never developed the technology for the dome if they had not laid the first block. The creative energy of the universe may be waiting for you to lay the first stone for your cathedral of a book, your cathedral of family or friends or a business or a cruise or some wonderful adventure. You have to be willing to put the first step out there and then say, okay, Spirit, you take care of the rest. So know any dream that you have as a spirit-filled dreams, the good ones and the honest ones and the true ones, the ones that radiate the best of life. Dreams that when they come to manifestation, not will just help you, but will help the whole world. Those are spirit-filled dreams. If there's something that is just going to satisfy your needs, that's an ego-filled dream, and it won't bring you much joy with the completion. So we want things that are going to fill the whole world with happiness, that give the whole world inspiration. And those kinds of dreams, you will find the universe giving you help and the universe giving you assistance. When we create dreams dreams that manifest, they'll help all of the world. So we want to open our hearts and minds and release any kind of negativity or any kind of restriction that we may be holding on to that holds us back. We have an idea of what we would like to bring to the world, and that idea has a very high vibration. The idea of going on a cruise or or creating a business or creating a family, all of that has a high vibration. And when we're thinking of that, we're raising our vibration. But as soon as we start thinking about the stupid neighbors or the dumb Congress or my aching back, then we lower our vibration. And when we get into that place of low energy, it's difficult for us to attract those things of high energy. So we want to do as much work as we can to keep ourselves thinking about or in a place of high vibration. What we think produces a mental atmosphere, Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, said, a mental atmosphere around us. And that is true. You've met people that when you're just around them, you feel better. You've also met people when you're around them, you don't feel so good. Well, Dr. Holmes explained that as a mental atmosphere. It was the predominance of the thoughts that they were thinking produced this energy around them. We all have that energy. And that energy is either attracting to us the things we desire or repelling from us the things that we don't want to experience. Dr. Holmes says that we can't attract love while we're constantly thinking of hate. If you're 24/7 thinking about how much you hate the president, your job, or how awful your body is, you won't be able to attract any kind of love in your life. You won't even be able to attract a dog that loves you unless you tie a pork chop around your neck. And even when they're done with the pork chop, they'll be on to something better. Yeah. Dr. Holmes says that we can't attract love while we're thinking of hate. So as long as you can't attract love, as long as you're dwelling on how awful your first husband was. Yeah. Or how awful the third husband was. We have an adventurous crew here, so yeah. When you're thinking about how much you hate your first husband, the only thing you're doing is you're attracting back into your life and experience another person who's going to create life events for you or help you co-create life events, because you got a majority part in that will match the feelings you had with the first husband. Get it? That's all you're doing. You're just bringing that back in. Now, if you can't think of a relationship and think of something happy, if you can't think of a relationship and not think of the ex-husband, and that can be difficult to move on from, then stay focused on some other form of love. Stay focused on love of friends or love of family or even the neighbor's cat. If you can generate enough love so that it crowds out the thoughts of how much I dislike my ex, then you're bound to attract someone else into your life. But first, you've got to crowd out all that negative thinking of how the ex did you wrong. Everything is possible. Everything is possible when we take care of our thinking and keep the high watch of our consciousness, the high watch. And as we think and speak and feel from that place of high vibration, the power of our words, thoughts, and emotions produce our experience. So we want to live from the highest visions for ourselves and for those around us, for everyone around us. To see the people around us doing the best they can and seeing people around us attracting the good that they want to have in their lives. The health, the love, the joy, and the prosperity. So get a vision of what you want and bless those that have it. Get a vision of what you want. When you see someone else who has that, bless them. Whether if they deserve it or not, that's not your business. Bless the people that have what you're seeking. Encourage those around you to go for what they want. And don't worry about if they're better than you are or they're deserving. Bless their success. And know that if they have it, it can come to you. If anyone has it, it can come to you. And the tricky part is that wherever you are in your life, to say, this is okay. Yes, I'd like greater blessings to come into my life, but where I'm at, I'm blessed, and more blessings are on the way. So we want to get out of that place of want, of need, or desire, and to know that right where we are, we have lives of wonderful blessings. Now, some people will say, well, that's all right. That's all easy for you to say. But what if life is real crappy for me right now? What if I'm not feeling like I have blessings? Well, there's always a blessing in every situation. There's either a blessing you have or there's a blessing you can be. And we all can be a blessing. I have two friends who are partners, and one of them is going through an extremely rare form of cancer. And it's really, he's struggled with it. He's fought it for for now going on maybe 6 years or more. And it's just really kind of a horrific form of cancer. It attacks the ear canals. And so they have to cut out these tumors. And so what it means is that he has these large open wounds in his head. And it's very disfiguring, and they have to be cleansed out. And so his partner tells me, he says, you know, I never thought, because they have to do this at home, he said, I'm such a squeamish person. He said, I never was a person that was comfortable with doing bodily things. He says, and now, you know, this is my reality. He says, and I would have never thought I could have done this. He says, but each morning I'm stepping up and I'm doing it. And he says, while I'm doing this, I'm saying to myself, I am so grateful I'm here to do this for my loved one. I'm so grateful that I'm the person that's helping him because I love this person. And I'm doing it with care. And I'm making sure it's done right. So he's taken a not great situation, and he's made himself a blessing in that situation. We can all do this because most of us aren't going through something that horrific. So we all have the opportunity to become a blessing to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. The universe is a spiritual system. It's designed by infinite wisdom. And we are spiritual beings, capable of living in health and love and capable of functioning wisely in our world. And spirit will respond when we live wisely with hope and faith in our hearts. You know, one of the things I do each morning is I have a little 10-pound pickapoo who runs our house. And she's very convinced that she is the taskmaster of the house. And one of the things that has to be done each morning is she has got to go on her walks to make sure everything in the neighborhood is up to her standards. And so I take her out each morning. And so the past couple of weeks, I have been catching myself thinking, you know, oh gosh, it's getting warmer. The humidity is building up. And, you know, and pretty soon it's going to be pretty buggy out and humid out. And so as I was making this walk, I caught myself and I said, wait a minute now. You can't do this. You've got to turn your thinking, and you've got to somehow say, all right, yes, this is happening, but also in this coming season, there's something that you're going to enjoy. There's something you're going to have fun with. So I started thinking about the cookouts we will do, the going to the beaches. Then I thought about the pool in our neighborhood will open up and we'll get membership and we can go in the evening to the pool, and that's all quite nice. So I turned it from not thinking joyfully about what's coming to shifting it and saying, yeah, there's something good that I'm going to enjoy. Now, just as soon as I was finishing my walk, the next door neighbors who are moving up to North Carolina, one of them called me over and they said, Ken, you know, y'all have been such great neighbors. We want to leave you with something to let you know how much we love you. We've got these 2 kayaks that we're not going to use. We want to give them to you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So, Raymond Charles Barker, one of the great founders of our teaching, he says, whenever you're in a problem, the question is, what positive factor can I introduce into this problem? What positive factor? And that's what I did. I said, okay, the heat and humidity is a problem for me. So I interjected the positive factor of the pool, and Spirit responded. Now, the positive factor doesn't have to solve all the problem. The pool isn't going to, you know, get rid of all the heat and humidity in St. Augustine, but it was a positive injection. And sometimes we can, if we put a positive idea into a problem, it can be like a pinprick to the problem. And all of a sudden the problem deflates to nothing, to a manageable situation. Sometimes a partial solution will help break up the problem. And so, into little pieces that we can then handle. Now, another thing when we have a problem, we don't want to try to analyze the problem, try to figure out why did this problem show up? What did I do to create that? The explanation of the problem will not cure it. The explanation will only explain how we got there. It will not give us the answer of where we move on from there. It's only new ideas that without, and new ideas don't happen to the mind that's engrossed in the past. Because that mind is only focused on how we created the past, and guess what, gang? That mind will recreate the past in amazing and creative ways that you cannot. It's like, that is miraculous. It's miraculous that I had a horrible boss, and guess what? I created another one. Totally different industry, but I recreated them. Now, so we can get so skilled at creating terrible stuff for ourselves that if we had bystanders, they would be like, you're a miracle worker. You've created miracles in your life with that miserable ex-husband, that miserable job, that aching back. And you know what? We are miracle workers. And if we can shift our thinking to greater possibilities, if we can shift our thinking of how we want to live and love and joy and health and flexibility, strength and stamina, miracles will flow into our lives. But we have to shift our thinking. Paul wrote in the scripture, I can do all things through an indwelling power. All things. And the people who have changed the world did not change the world on the basis of what they knew. They changed the world through new ideas that came to them as they acted. But you have to start acting. You have to start moving. You know, it's like when you're out you're taking a hike in the woods. You can't always see where the trail is heading. You can only see the trail just a couple of feet away. But as you start moving on the trail opens up. And you don't have to see the end destination. You just have to keep moving. The power that created us is the power that works through us and is available to us. And we have the resources to live well. We have the ability to change our thinking, change our attention from what's not possible to what is possible. Now, my friend that I was telling you about that is helping his partner, he also has a business, and the business isn't doing that well. So I told him, I said, I want you to go in Monday morning before all your salespeople and your technicians get there, and I want you to stand in the middle of that office, and I want you to raise your fist to the ceilings and say, okay, Spirit, I am doing my part. I'm stepping out in love. I'm stepping out in a merciful way. I am being your ambassador of compassion in the physical plane. So you get these phones ringing. You get these salespeople busy. You get these technicians going, because I'm doing my part, and you need to step up and fulfill your part so I can keep going, so I can continue to be the ambassador, so I can continue to be the loving and compassionate partner that you've called me to do. And we can do the same thing when we envision ourselves as loving, as healthy, and joyful, and move out into the world, being an outlet of Spirit's life in the physical. And so I'm suggesting to you that some early morning you get up before the bugs and the humidity, and you go outside and raise your fist to the heavens, and you say, okay, Spirit, I am doing my part. I'm being loving. So you bring me more love so I can even be more loving. I'm being compassionate. So you bring me even more compassion so that I can even be even in greater compassion. I'm being generous. So you bring me more prosperity so I can be a wonderful outlet of prosperity, of support, of encouragement and inspiration. I'm doing my part, Spirit, so you step up. You step up and create a life where I can do even more. Spirit is waiting on us. We're stepping up. So where is the problem? There's no problem in the mind of God, and there's no problem in our lives when we envision a greater, more loving, more dynamic, more healthy, prosperous life. It's what we've been called to do, and we are well to do it. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.